Perfect design. Armor up from within. My friends, we're here to talk about the Breather Mask startup with Trey Parker and South Park. Align your greatermost identity. Trey, you must. All right. Oh, let's just set this up. Yeah. All right. Well, so let's settle in for a pleasant conversation. Let's armor up for that. So you want to know what we're expecting, but we don't. We're not terribly psychic, and I want to make a definition here. I'm not about conspiracy theories. I think that there is something obtusely wrong in the creation model. And in fact, humanity is the providence of the light, or, oh, gee. Um, okay, well, we're, okay, the problem is not a big fan of humanity, but I am. I love humanity because I know that their little foibles are actually a type of miscreant where they're going like, hey, don't destroy our. They're like kids protesting, right? So I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not saying the Democrats are bad. Oh no, oil prices. This whole thing. Well, Biden also shut down the oil pipe, and that's awesome. Um, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I am actually a humanitarian. I believe that humans are talking about the issue, but in a subtle tongues, and I'm kind of like, oh, you guys, it's there's a very advanced reason why all of us would be involved in a societal crunching. No, Wally, this sort of thing is going on, and I'm like, oh no, okay, but this apocalypse, it's not. It's for us to defeat, you guys. And in the news today, some sort of Brazilian variant has arrived, and uh, several states are increasing like 10%. But like, look what they're saying about the British variant. Of course, it's not that. It's just that the thing mutates on like a time scale. But in England, they're saying that we've determined that the death rate with the variant is 64% more. Will you still need me? Will you still please me when I'm 64? Dun, dun. So we need to save these children's lives and do the American thing by producing something, cause and effect, supply and demand. We need to make it big, we need to make it good. And I want to partner with Trey Parker in such a way that it's like we're family. I'm asking Trey to put me under his wing and to adopt me and to help me produce my thing, right? Because sometimes like when my destiny Wally, and I start going look, hey, and I start getting a little weirder because shit's hitting the fan. Meanwhile, people are like, oh, spring break, everything's back now. You look at the news, there's a bunch of like, oh, this celebrity like bumped their toe, and it's like, all right, perfect design, right, Trey? So the thing is, I've just had the Esper, the Esper event of my life, and I don't want to lose you, Trey. So I'm asking you, Trey Parker. All right, let's get into this meditation. It's kind of sometimes it's like, oh, hey, okay, all right, let's just settle into it. Okay, I am working to make this American startup company, and ultimately, like what I feel is we do need to. So I'm armoring up on that. Like I represent my company, right? I am the CEO character, American first, and I performed my American rights, running for president, performing free speech. I have independent thoughts. I absolutely know that America is a genius and is the solution for many problems, like the cures in the Amazon. We have some really tough people here, and it's healthy for them. And I appreciate the the arguments that they have and stuff. I mean, like they're fine, they're cool. I'm saying like America is this underdog, but he's kind of like a superhero, being like, what did he say about me? Americans can be superheroes, and I want Trey to be that superhero because we need one now, Trey. And I'm offering you half of my company because I just can't do this without you, Trey. I want you to be my partner in this. And I am looking like I'm like looking at getting a different apartment. I'm like, oh my god, like what's really cool about my apartment right now is that it's paid for and it's a great storage space. So what I'm saying is like I would really rather just go and move like Trey's like, oh, I have like a a rental or like I have like a thing over there. We could set you up. It's okay. You know, that's really what's on my heart right now, and that's what I'm here to talk about. Because that's where we're talking about the solutions. We have to go. Oh, boop, 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 meow, meow, meow. We have to actually use our hands, use our bodies to speak these words. Okay, because the system of the down, what it does is it wants a category of behavior and results. And so it takes advantage of that. Oh, humans aren't psychic. Well, what the heck, you know? So they want like the bad thing to happen, like an Armageddon. And of course, you know, all the humans actually they're not working against each other because they have a familiar human condition and they're speaking with the water condition. The water actually understands the human condition. So humans haven't actually been working against each other. It's all common sense stuff. Like, you know, if okay, this is fine. I'm saying like there's a lot going on in the world, but I do think we're all on the same side about like Earth is important. We want to keep it. We got to do right. And that's what I think the pseudo thing. And I'm not talking about conspiracy. I'm talking about people are like, oh, my soul is like dying, and so then I'm gonna start acting like a fool. J.J. Abrams, right? But he's just a little cop, being like, oh, I'm tone deaf, dirt. You know, and then you know Greta and Freddy kids are going like, hey, hey, I want to keep my world. I want to keep my world. And it's like it's probably like their the generation of their children is what might be like, oh no, like something, but we need to lead with the head and the body will follow in this way. All right. So we are on the right path. And Earth is just taking these emergency, pumping on the brakes, being like, oh, okay, guys, I'm face. And Earth is like, all right, Earth is like, I have a very important leadership role to the universe. And and Trey's like, I have an important leadership to America and to my audience. And Earth is like, that's why I chose you, Trey, because I know you can do this, because you're a freaking wizard. And you need to transcend something that crushed all of Hatch's family and his friends, and he's down to this point where he's like, oh yeah, you know, okay, all right. So Trey, armor up in the way of your handmade Kabuki. So South Park technology aligned to the full regard. Trey Parker analyze this. You know what I'm saying? A bunch of little circles. You have a perfect computer, Trey Parker. Couldn't be better. I mean, like if you guys had used clay animation, you wouldn't have been the chosen one. You guys use bright colors and concise shapes. Hey, I'm pointing at you and it's funny. You know, it's just like, oh my God, you guys are perfect. Talk about wasabi sabi. You know, unfold to the perfect full regard. You're a wizard, Trey. All right. So, you know, I'm hearing in the news there's these new variants and they're you know, the reports don't listen to the scientists. The scientists said this didn't come from England. It mutated on its own and the reporter didn't understand it, and now they're going, oh, the Brazilian strand has made it into America. No, 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 it's just it's mutating on its own because that okay. It's like I'm talking to a bunch of people who haven't played the game Pandemic, where the map explodes with germs and stuff. Like you don't know about that. There's like you know different types of. All right. Anyway, what is before us is an opportunity, and I think it's going to be the best South Park episode of the Trinity to have this solution. We say we are introducing a breather mask that also has XR. Yes, yes, yes. You know, because like that's what makes it bearable. Americans are very proud people, and they take off their masks, say "fuck you," you're interfering with my experience. You know, that's what America's an underdog, but they're tough and they're warriors, and I love them, and they deserve better. You know, I really need that group of editors and people working with me so that when because Hatch he gets to a point where it's like oh my gosh that was gold like what he just said you know but it really is a team effort and I need those people who have that perspective and they're like the mood and then this and then that so you know cutting editing it down I'm like you guys need to do that because I need to be like no 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 I need to go into the performance and I'll be sensitive to the point where like I can feel the editing, the final cut. I'll be like gravitated towards like, oh, that actually made it into, because I have this. I've been training with Trey, and it's awesome. All right, so like because I need to be in my performance, and whether I'm working to talk about the breather mask or talk about my streaming service or the other companies that I've planned. I'd like to do a lot of things. I'm really interested in food. I think that food is an amazing invention. Anyway, it's very good and polite to talk to people about food and then suddenly have a conversation after it be like, well, that was really fun and interesting. And we just want to take a moment to, 5 minutes to just talk about, you know, how much we love this universe and how we're home. We love this universe and we love the garden giving us food and shelter. We love this experience. It's so cool, And we're here on the solar system. It's good for us to maintain the perspective. We have the context of the horizon and the verticals of trees and buildings and stuff, but it's almost like we're inside a computer because as you're moving along, it's just like you can see that the wrapping the visuals just scroll around oh, it's so immersive, right? But this is like where um this is where it's reality and the impact of physical uh, beyond virtual and XR, right? But you guys, setting this up with the XR breather, it's just like it's absolutely poignant and it's the absolute solution to save people's lives because this thing's bearable to be worn. Oh, I want to talk about that. I was investigating more about breathers, and I found some online, but they're like over $1,000, first of all. Second of all, you're talking about equipment from the 90s, or they haven't innovated since the 90s because it works, but it's bulky. It doesn't, it doesn't do a lot. Some of the things are wrong. Anyway, the reason why recently some people have been levitating with their drones, with these new engines, these new compilers, these new batteries. Oh, what? New battery technology? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. The Tesla Advance. All right. Exactly. That all has gone under the radar for the technology of breathers because breathers is narrowed down to this thing of people like, oh, if you're like doing some industry work and there's some dust in the air, or if you're working in a hospital. But this technology literally is hasn't been worked on since the 90s. So there's like a big bulky fanny pack that you clip onto your back, and then it has a hose, and it doesn't protect all of your body, and it's got the kind of obtuse flat thing where it has no nose. So it's just very inconsiderate. It's like, oh, you don't have like an expression when you put on the. Okay, so this is like, there's, the symbology is also broken. But when we put like a wolf on, that's nature's defense wearing armor, and it looks super cool. And there's like these kind of like subtle because there's lights on the dash when you're looking at it, and you can we could have like a cell phone and it has the controls on it. We can talk about that later, but that kind of light is just like this vanity light. It's just like it just makes your face glow, especially at night. Can you imagine like people are walking around and it's all very cool. Like let's give them back their dignity. American invention. You guys, supply and demand is very causal, and so this is very, topical. We're just seeing new variant strands coming out. Even if this XR unit is relevant to the gaming industry. I'm literally saying that we're creating a new type of console. This is a gaming console, and if it gets to, like really extreme, like we'll have expansion packs like we'll have like extra, like we'll probably have like a new model with a greater CPU, but we'll work on it. Like it is going to have some kind of computer in it, but it's relevantly simple. But gosh, this is something that people who work from home are going to just they're going to eat it up because we're saying like okay, in the wings of the ears or the sort of excess space on the back because we want to counterbalance the head. It wants to balance on the crown of your head like a hat. Mhm. So this product will literally save lives and curb the infection rate. It's very important to give people their dignity and not just say like, hey, you know, the problem part of the problem was like it should have just been only the cities need to wear the mask, and only when there's an eruption does those counties then shut down with mask mandate. But shutting down the entire country, it's almost like the immaturity of the electoral college that doesn't listen to the cities and uses the swing states as some sort of polarizing thing where it's a malformed uh, judgment. Really, the city judgments are all like absconded into the same weird place. And it's the same thing. So when the cities have this explosion, all of a sudden the entire country gets, shut down. It's like huge mismanagement. And now people are just exhausted. So we need to have a solution that is powerful and good and understands so much. Yes, it's important, but we need to actually go, oh, we should run on this. So trade needs to be like, okay, could we just bring Hatch out because Hatch. So that's what I'm here to talk to Trey Parker about in South Park. Like a third pandemic thematic could be that we introduce Hatch and he's inventing this thing, and then Randy gets into it and he starts developing the gentleman's best, the Randolph, wool farmer, the wool field. Yes. And I need you to be big about this, Trey, and actually say that's awesome, because it is. And okay, so yeah, use your South Park physics to super navigate around the oppression of like this seems irregular. It's like South Park is like, well, actually, this is completely on top point about what I'm doing and what I've been seeing in the fucking news today. So don't tell me this is off topic. This guy is burning hot. Yeah. So what's great about this is, like I said, my apartment can just sit there like a little storage unit. I've got all my junk plastered all over the walls and stuff. My paintings and what I'm saying is like it can just sit here, and I could go to California. We could do this. We can work on it. You guys, this is really on my heart. I'm really excited to meet you guys all and make friends with you. And I would love to have a sit down with anyone who's pissed at me, and we'll just have it out and we'll talk. I want to talk to you guys, and I think that communication is the solution. I would love to. Anyone has a problem with me, please talk with me, but don't cancel Trey's ambition to work with me. You know. All right. Um. Okay. That is what I'm hoping. Trey's like, yes, boom, green light that, write it down. And so I'm saying like, the system the down. It's not a conspiracy. It's just the language of America, and few people understand the American lingo because they're so fresh with their fast food and their guns. God, but I love America so much, and it's like sometimes I'm just like, oh, I'm an American, and I feel like, oh, it feels like so good, right? You're like, oh, phew, like I am one of those, yeah. Um, absolutely. And it's great. Also, I've been discovering a patriotism while I was running for president. I started to love the American flag, and I was like, oh, the red, white, and blue. I just love it. Yeah, and it's cool. It's like I tapped into it, and really touches on the heart of America. And somehow there's some of the camaraderie that supports me and that they understand that I'm trying and all this good stuff. All right. Let's take a look at the pictures so we have a little break from me staring at break from all the eye contact. All right. You know, all the while I was hoping that Trey would tune in to what I was saying and understand it in his own way. Because I am presenting material that is unfamiliar and unpublished, like the periodic table of elements when it's in 4 columns, and it shows the actual energetic positioning of the color green as compared to the color blue, which is like mind blowing. But I'm hoping that you guys can extract your own desired excitement or your own conclusion about it. Like, oh, that's interesting, you know, and that's enough. I'm not trying, I'm definitely not here to do this the wrong way. Like, oh, rope it, I don't know. I'm not trying to distort. I'm not trying to do anything wrong. But of course, in the we got poets all of a sudden in the legalist system. We got poets who are interpreting, well, I'm interpreting his poetry as to be vile, you know. But if you can just see something good in it, that would be doing all that I'm hoping will happen here. I'm not trying to gouge. I don't want to hurt you guys, right? Um, and we're on time. I think, I do have a heartstring with Trey Parker, and I think that this is a, you guys are seeing the news just like I am, and it's upsetting because literally a month ago, all the news was very patient and ardent about pursuing the evidence and stuff, and then like it just vanished, and I was just like, what the hell? And it was all the news just started going like, oh, celebrity or football or whatever, anything else. I think all of the news developing departments, essentially, maybe they were essential like workers, and they all like got shots, and they were just like, oh, that's over now. And and I appreciate that, and I hope it is over. But what we're talking about is an XR solution. It's a gaming system, and that's the only way really. If things do continue to have like multiple strains of breathing problems, people are just like, oh, I can't get, I can't, I have children. I can't be going to my building and cutting through crowds with homeless people on the street to earn a living when obviously we can work from home, but then a lot of people are losing their jobs because they can't open up. Like it's just like a huge thing, you guys, and we're going. There's like like a year of people with struggling with work. With oh my God, this is a huge thing. All right, so what I'm talking about is I've looked at some other breathers. They're over $1,000, and they're crap. It has a fanny pack, and it looks stupid, right? And they just haven't changed that equipment since the 90s, like I said. But if we offer this up like a design challenge, okay, and then they because and they can set it up with a computer and do the entire air and pressurize, like how much pressure do we need? What kind of little motors can we use here? But the air passes through these filters that does remove germs, pollen. Pollen's easy to remove, but also smog. So at least three, and also these filters, you might have to replace them. You might have to like, or you could get you can click in the type of filter you want on it. And I've been looking up online. There's also these sort of industrial gas masks where you can whizzle on like breathing chemical schmoggots. Again, it mutates the face and makes these like huge, these canisters. Those things are available. This is not what that is. Or this is not some sort of this is not some sort of riot gear, okay? It's an XR piece of equipment that people wouldn't want to wear in a dangerous situation because it could get broken. It has little lights on it. It's a computer. It's not for people to use as a weapon. It's expensive. It's like a gaming center. People aren't going to be like, "Oh, I'm going to wear my expensive XR breather to the next like riot." That's bullshit. And there are already like chemical breather masks on the market. So that's not what this is about. I'm sorry. I caught a whiff of of like a spirit being like, "Oh, you can put different filters in it, and you're upset about that? Wow, wow. All right. So the Dragon King is I've had a lot of free time. I've got, I'm just sitting around here. Time's being wasted, money is being wasted, and people are dying. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll work on this, and it really worked out actually. It says it's a karmic angel, so that people who have done good work, they need to be receiving the karmic reward for that work because the system of the down does not provide them with waterborne correct alignment of Junktine adapted hello reward for what you actually fucking did. So we need to actually straighten that out and make sure that people are being respected on a universal scale. Or there's something going on in the universe and it's not a conspiracy. It's atomic. It has to do with the rainbow, right? The rainbow turning inside out or multiplied, and then the deadlights rose. We need to be aligned with Earth on the pocket watch. Let's line up synchronize our clocks right now. Right, we can do this, you guys, and then we are going to do it. We're going to do it. All right. But I need like Trey Parker to buckle down and say, "Oh, okay, how do I get this guy into, because I do think that Trey and I should work together in tangent. And if it's like, I can have like a little quarantine, and I'll like Trey will set up this thing, and then we'll be like, okay, well, after you get, because I haven't got my shots yet. All right, so well, after you get your shots and all, or I'll get tested, and then we can kind of have meetings and talk about it because it is a physical thing. So I'm talking about, flying out and getting set up. And I love you guys. I love South Park. This has been a destiny piece this whole time, um, like from the Where map. And so like I feel that Earth is saying like this has to happen. This, hatch and trade, yes. Because I think Earth had a vision in his clockwork. He was like, these guys can basically solve my entire um, speech impediment, if you want to call it that. But the Earth wants to keep humans because we are the critical light adaptation that we're actually an immunity to the system down, but we have to prove it. So we have to actually. Oh, well, that's why South Park Tech is so important in your intuition, right? Because they have endpoint velocity. They're trying to cause something bad in the future. This is what I wouldn't go and tell Greta about this. I'm not telling children. I'm telling Trey fucking Parker. You understand? So I'm telling the gentlemen, I'm telling the adults, the pillar of society, I'm talking to you guys about these intense things. It's not a conspiracy. It's going on, and you guys have you've been talking about it also, lampooning it. That sucks. That's retarded. Why is that even popular? You know, and very viable critiques as well. I do. If any of you were wondering what this thing is, I purchased my some vampire fangs, and it's actually the case that my vampire fangs came in, and it has some glue. And yeah, so this is one of my vampire teeth fangs case, um, and it's part of the Vampire King's meditation and Demon King, and we just love you guys nonstop. All right, let's get back to the performance. All right, thank you so much, Trey, for being my spirit animal, for understanding about the temperature, about what's going on today, is predict to performing beyond what's normal, what's usual. About certainly, all right, you guys. It's like for me, sometimes my human condition is just like my body hurts. Okay, and I'm saying sometimes it's just like, like, all right. So I'm not saying that this is like, oh, this is making me feel good. Oh, I've got a boner to work with Hatch now. You're using your mind and you're understanding that these people need a greater provincial provider, a parent. We need to parent the situation. We need to provide these breathers. It's a wonderful design challenge for the people who will actually be assembling, what kind of motors, what kind of batteries, all this sort of thing. And if we can keep away from a fanny pack, that I think that we can. I really do. Because if we can counterbalance, it'd be like wearing it should be lightweight because the fishbowl is just a thin plastic cast. Um, there's different types of plastic. Where it's not something like you could push on it and it can indent, right? It's not like thin plastic like a milk carton. So it is strengthened like this, and it even has like little bones, like where it's directing the air to circulate. It causes like strengthening to the plastic, so it has like some strength to it. Mhm. Sort of what I'm really excited about that idea. Like the plastic cast itself is part of how it all functions, and it clips in here and here and here. Yeah, so there'd be like a couple intakes, or there's like air can come in through here, and then it goes through a filter, right? And then there's the powerful little suction motors that conduct air, and it's actually a very gentle breeze you're talking about. It's not like like, oh, the noise of it. It's just a very very gentle, like, and it's actually feels good. It's like cool on your face. And I imagine that this is something people end up using in their home office. They can actually Zoom call with it, because you can have a social center, and you can walk around and sort of talk and do your sort of business from home or whatever. That's so important, right? So I just think that this is the perfect solution, and I think it's practical. We're not, this solution I'm presenting, it's not about us sacrificing, it's about us working together. Thank you guys. Perfect design. This is really, truly, what I wanted to say today is like, I really, because like, so, okay. Um, I don't want to just start spouting about what's been going on with me. I don't want to do that. I want to appreciate you guys. I know that you guys are urgent on this. You're on the edge of your seat because you've been watching the news. And you're like, Hatch is different intellectually than what we're used to, but I think in this case it's good. Like I'm saying that this guy Hatch, this is a solution, you guys, and it's a gaming center. And when we have this startup company, Trey will own half of it, and XR is going to continue developing, and we'll have different models and stuff. This is something that needs to happen. There's something wrong in the mind of the computer industry. They're like, make it really small. Cell phones get smaller and smaller until they're fit in your ear and it's an earbud, or it's a little Google goggles and it's right there and it's just tiny, tiny, tiny. What the fuck? This is a fucking nightmare. Oh, make it smaller, make it smaller. The fuck? Like you need to put it. It needs to wrap around all the face, and you has to like. Oh, it comes with a special outfit that like yeah, it has little gloves and stuff. I don't know, but let's like explode it. Let's have like lots of things. The entire intuition of computers is also telltale about like a spiritual condition that's going on. But we can blast that thing away with the Hatch and Tray collaboration. Perfect design. I think it's an excellent South Park episode. Like I said, we can actually, oh my God, you guys, thank you so much. Like we can perfectly explain and animate the functionality of this equipment. I wouldn't even put real pictures like, oh, here's actually a picture of us developing. No, 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 no. No, it's all South Park animated, and that's why it will be popular or cool. Okay, this is a cool product, and people are like, yes, finally, our kings are fighting for us. This is something I want. I think we can bring the price down to around 500. I'm saying, all right? We'll work that out. But that's the thing is like there's new little motors and little batteries. There's new technology. It's not being assembled for a breather, and we're like basically before the flood. You guys, if three other strands, there's already these other more deadly strands coming out, and you guys, we're before the flood. I mean, we need to understand that. Oh, this is really intelligent. It's also a gaming center, and people might just be interested in this product because it's XR. And that actually weaves perfectly into my story talking with Trey about my computerized house and my water wheel mill with Millie, the outlaw, Millie's attic. You know, my idea of heaven. Like an advanced smart house with virtual rooms and different ways to explore it and how diving into the mind of the computer. XR, no, not XR, CGI, no. It's like where I am now. I'm diving into I'm in the computer right now. That's why I was sort of virtual reality where you can actually dive into the computer's mind, but it all needs to be handmade, human handmade. That makes our computers in our household more advanced than the shit that is derived from UFO technology. So that thing has a hand imprint from the diamond laser. It's kind of this um, thing boiling in the background. But here we are with humanity, and we have Macintosh computers, we have PC, we have Dell, we have all these computers, and these things are actually more attuned to the human superpositioning and everything. It's a different, age is another type of geometry. So the geometry spectrum of what Ghost and what 545 is the author of these technologies, you see? So actually, our cell phones also is a great, uh, powerful human technology. So I'm talking about we're making a complete human like it's literally this coat of armor, and between Hatch and Trey, we'll talk about it, but you can understand how the idea is very advanced about we humans are wearing human technology. You know, you can dance if you want to. You can leave that shit behind. You do this and friends don't dance, and then they're no friends of mine. You gotta wait. We gotta start dancing, you guys. You can dance. You can dance. Everything's out of control. You can dance. You can dance. Singing it from pole to pole. Yeah. Come on, you guys. It's awesome. All right. I've been like the South Park rogue. It's like, oh, he's always going. So, all right, Trey, I'm saying yes to this thing, and I want you guys to be excited and and I want you guys to embrace this thing like an Iron Maiden. And you'd be like, oh yeah, we'll work with Hatch. And Trey, my blood started leaking out. I'm like, oh, thank you, Trey. Finally, fucking hell, been in a fucking nightmare. My fucking nightmare. Fucking silence. Oh, I'm sorry for swearing. Listen, you guys, certain times it is appropriate to swear. And we need to have that fighting spirit. Trey Parker has been giving the moxie to the generations of men. It's completely irrelevant. Little naughty words in South Park. It's just way too much like censorship on like don't do anything rash. Don't use you know powerful language. And South Park and Eric Carmen's always been like, what? I just need to. All right. And while this time people are dying, it is a time to be upset. But what's exciting is that Trey Parker has been chosen by the Earth to be the hero, to bring a resolution to the problem, the conflict, the disconnect between the actual identity of Earth and the communication industry, which is swollen and infected by these sort of not legit people who end up performing this sort of evidence, whereas Trey really was legit because he's like, yeah, this is how it kind of boiled. I worked on this so hard, South Park. And that shows there's a shining spirit of American legend from South Park. And finally, Earth is recognizing this and performing this thing between Hatch and Trey, trying to bring together two various different worlds to produce the solution for everyone. Thank you so much, Trey. I hope to hear from you very soon. You can call me anytime, all right? Thank you. And so this is me after being like, I've just been pissed and dry and poor and I didn't want to tell you that story. This is my hope. Please, Trey, please hire me. Let's partner. We'll make this startup. We'll have these things built with existing companies and factories, right? But I will retain the copyright on the thing so that we can move into it and we can do this thing, all right? Thank you guys so much. I love you guys. I want to be part of your family. Please put me under your wing, Trey, and keep me safe. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. I love you. I love you, South Park. I love you, Trey and Matt. I love you guys. Thank you. Let's get to work, save some lives, and earn a living. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. America, my home, is perfect. It is complete. It is good.